In December 2022, I quit my job and I decided to take on a different career path. Before then, I was working as a pharmacist in a hospital, and a lot of people ask me this question today: was it worth it? I'll be real with you. Quitting has been glamorized on the internet. There are several videos on the internet talking about this particular subject, but not so many that shares the sacrifices that they had to make in order to take that big leap. In this video, I'll be responding to the question, was it worth it? And I'll also be sharing some of the sacrifices I had to make in order to take that big step. The third sacrifice really took a lot from me, and I feel like it's something that is often overlooked but very important. So you want to stick around for that. If you are looking to make that big leap in 2025, then these are some factors you should consider before you make that big step. Of course, these are not universal rules, but it's something to guide you in your process of decision making. It helped me a lot, and I hope it helps you as well. So the first factor I considered was timing. I know there's an emphasis on now in our generation. Quit now, leave now, start now. And for some reason, that now downplays on the importance of proper planning. Because if you do something on the whim without a plan, it's most likely to fail. In hindsight, quitting in my early 20s was really worth it. Why? Because I had time. Typically, if you are in your early 20s, you have the opportunity to try out new things, make mistakes, and fail forward. Typically, a lot of people don't have so many responsibilities. They are most likely single, fresh out of school, and just trying to navigate life. Some risks are best taken early in life because that's when the stakes are lower. At that age, I had fewer responsibilities, which made it easier to take on some risks. Of course, this might not apply to everyone, but if you're in your early 20s, I encourage you to take risks. The stakes are lower. You still have time to build. You still have time to learn from your mistakes. Time is literally on your side. Now, the second factor I considered before I quit my 9 to 5 was a steady source of income. At that time, it was small. I wasn't earning a lot from my freelancing career, but it was steady, and it gave me the assurance and confidence I needed to make that big decision. Of course, this may not apply to everyone. I know some people that just took that step without any backup plan, and it still turned out successful. But that's not always the case. In fact, most of the time, it's always a tiny proportion of people that actually make it out of that situation. A safer option would be actually having a plan, having a steady, even if it's small, a steady source of income that can sustain you until you land the job that you truly desire. Transitioning is not an easy feat. It's more like a long-term journey, and in order to succeed at it, you have to think long-term. Also, I had an emergency fund. I had to create savings, an emergency fund that was going to sustain me over a period of time. Actually, it was 2 to 6 months. So an emergency fund is just that money you have in your account or maybe in your investment plan that can cater to about 3 to 6 months of your living expense. That gave me some kind of confidence to embark on this journey. And if you know anything about freelancing is unstable. Especially in the beginning, it's very unstable. It's highly volatile. And unlike the traditional 9 to 5 job where you are guaranteed of a stable or a base pay, with freelancing, you could literally be on a roller coaster. So these were some of the factors that helped me navigate that uncertainty and encouraged me to take that bold step. Of course, it may seem like some people have more guts than others, but for some people, it's just planning that makes the difference. The sacrifices I had to make. Okay, now we're on to this point. This is the most important. If you've been with me up until this point, please click on the subscribe button and leave a comment. These are some of the sacrifices I had to make in order to achieve the big transition. Number 1, I spent less time partying. Yes. I can recall those days. It felt like I was literally detached from the world. And of course, everyone's journey is different, but I needed more time. If you're looking to carve out time to actually make this move. The truth is that you will not have to sacrifice your social life for a very long period of time in order to achieve this. It may just be 3 months, it may just be 6 months, it may just be 4 months. You don't have to do this all year round every day. No. After a certain period of time, you can go back to your life. But consider it as a season of sowing. You are sowing into your future. The sacrifices you make today will pay you tomorrow. And it's not for an extended period of time. If you ask me, it's mostly 4 to 6 months that you will spend learning that skill. Your friends will understand. Sacrifice number 2, I live on a modest income. You may not have to do this, really. You may really not have to, depending on your financial situation. But if you have to work multiple jobs just to make money, and the money you're making is more than enough, like it's more than what you actually need to survive, then you may want to take back your time, because right now you're exchanging time for money. You may want to take back your time and invest that time into learning a skill that will fast track your progress out of your regular 9 to 5. That's just the math here. You have to think carefully about what you want to achieve. During that period, I actually lived on a very modest budget. I wasn't splurging on the little luxuries that I love, and I just had to cut down my expenses. That's basically it. I had to cut down my expenses, and I had to live a minimal life for, again, a period of time. I didn't do this for years and years on end. No, it most likely is often a period of time until you can transition. That's why it's called a transition, from one phase to another. It's not a permanent state. It's a transition. That means it would come to an end eventually. But the time it will take for it to transition from one phase to another is entirely up to you and how fast you can achieve your goal. Sacrifice number 3, I had to deal with the uncertainty. I think this is the key. You see that uncertainty thing? I don't think one can really escape it. Life comes with uncertainty. 9 to 5 creates stability. If you want to try something outside your regular 9 to 5, you should be ready to embrace uncertainty. Like, you and uncertainty will be best of friends. I've come to realize that if you desire to do something worthwhile, you just have to deal with the uncertainty. I consider it, I call it faith. I've come to realize that if you desire to do something worthwhile, then you should embrace uncertainty, because it's just part of the journey. When I started out, I was uncertain. At every step of the way, I was still very uncertain, and certainty and clarity came as I continued pushing forward, as I kept progressing. And it's a never-ending journey. These are some of the sacrifices you may have to make if you are looking to quit in 2025 and explore something different. The truth is that there's no risk without a reward. And I'm sure you have a long list of the ways you would reward yourself if you attain that goal. So why not? Now down to the final question. Was it worth it? Absolutely. I wouldn't come here and lie to you. Absolutely. Today I have the freedom to work from literally anywhere in the world. I'm not tied to a specific location. It is totally worth it. If I could go back in time, I would definitely take this path. It has challenged me, and it has made me even more confident in my abilities to make decisions for my life. And I'm sure you want this as well. If you are looking to embark on this journey in 2025, if you have told yourself that this 2025 cannot end and will not end if you do not make that transition, then you may want to book a free chat with me. I will attach a link in the description box. It's free of charge. You can talk about your transition goals and the things you are looking to achieve as you transition from your career to what you're passionate about. And we can just have a comfortable chat about it, okay? Slots are limited, and when the slots are out, I'm not sure if there would be a second link. If you want to work remotely in 2025, I made a whole video on how you can do that, and I will be attaching that in the description box. Please go watch that video. I bet you will find it helpful as well. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.